Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com. Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
So you went to a junk yard and junked it?
That was just how I got it out of her possession.
I know, but did you junk it or did you sell it?
I sold it.
How much did you sell it for?
I sold it for $400.
Well, that was dumb.
This is the plaintiff, Tyra Ryan. She says she's been friends with the defendant since high school, and she can't believe it's come to this, a lawsuit. Turns out her one-time friend had her car towed away and junked because of a parking ticket dispute they had. She had no right to have her car towed and then junked, and she's here suing her for the $1,900 she's owed. This is the defendant, Rotia Leslie. She says she helped her friend out by registering the car in her name, and she insured it under her name too. The plaintiff then got a bunch of parking tickets, didn't tell her about them, didn't pay them, and she did what she had to do. The plaintiff knows she's in the wrong. She had every right to do what she did, and here they are. She's accused of snatching a friend's car. The defendant was filed a countersuit for $3,104.97 for defamation of character, parking tickets, and insurance costs.
Okay, all parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas. Tyra Ryan,
Hi.
You are suing your former good friend Rotia Leslie for $1,900, the value of an Oldsmobile that you say she inappropriately confiscated from you, and $500 of that for defamation. You are counterclaiming almost $3,200 against her for parking tickets, taxes you paid on that car, insurance, and defamation. Tell me what's going on.
I brought a car and I registered and insured it in my name, and my son's father got tickets in my name, and I was unable to pay them.
What kind of tickets?
Parking tickets, the same thing that I got.
And then didn't pay them?
No.
Am I correct?
Yes,
he didn't pay them?
yes.
And then what happened to you when he didn't pay them?
They basically was about to put a boot on my car. Right.
So you can't have a car in your name, that way you can avoid a boot.
Correct.
Right? So when they boot your car, what they do is they see who's getting tickets, what's the name of the person ignoring their tickets, and then they boot any car they find in that person's name, right?
Yes.
You know that, right?
Well, I found out,
So
yes.
what you did to avoid it happening to you was what?
I asked
You asked your good friend to put your car in her name.
Yes. And she did it, and now I end up getting 3 tickets in her car.
And so, of course, you ran out and you paid those tickets because you don't want a car that's in your friend's name to get booted. Do you have another car in your name?
Yes, my own car.
Your own car. So then if they find your car or her car, they would boot it. Not just your car. Your car, which you have in her name, and her car, they would boot it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew that I was wrong. I didn't have the money at the time. No, I was.
Okay. How many tickets did you get? 3?
3.
Now, what did you do to resolve it once you realized she was not going to pay them?
I had sent her a text message, asked her, did she pay off the tickets? This is after she told me she wasn't going to be my friend anymore because I asked her about when she was going to pay the tickets. She told me I was no longer her son's godmother. And then I was like, okay, so you're making decisions like that. That means you're not going to pay me.
Did she pay you your money?
No.
How long did you wait while she wasn't paying you before you took matters into your own hands?
It's been a year.
All right, so when did you, I can't even say repossess because you didn't finance that car. When did you take her car in order to pay a debt she owed, in order to make her pay a debt she owed to you?
I went down to a junkyard. I had them tow it. They were going to give me money for the car, which at least I could have paid off something.
Right, but do you understand the Blue Book value of that car is about $1,600. It's not a junk car. It has a Blue Book value. So you went to a junk yard and junked it?
That was just how I got it out of her possession.
I know, but did you junk it or did you sell it?
I sold it.
How much did you sell it for?
I sold it for $400.
Well, that was dumb. Because here's the problem. You're entitled to get your damages. You're not entitled to get 4 times your damages.
No,
and now she's at a loss because, I mean, if the car was junk, if it was just worth junk value, fine.
It was something in my name that I needed out.
Oh, yeah, I know. But you also have an obligation to mitigate your damages and not create more damages. You can't just sell it for $2 to somebody. Who'd you sell it to?
I sold it to a family member.
Exactly. And that's the thing that I, as a judge, would have to guard against. You're entitled to be made whole. You're not entitled to be put in a better position than you were in before the bad thing happened to you. And I can't help but say, I realize that you did this out of love for your friend because you weren't paying her for this, were you? There was nothing in it for you, and it's sad that we're talking about your godchild. How old is your godchild?
He's 9 to 10 now.
8.
8, and she doesn't let you see him now?
No.
How long has it been since you see him?
A few months. That's my baby. I would
apologize to
never
her.
do anything to her. I would never do anything to her.
She's a hypochondriac.
Okay, except for that, here's what happened though. Instead of going to court and suing for $400, what you did was take the car, and you know that's the car that they used, okay? So,
but nobody was concerned.
I mean, I understand that you were trying to protect your investment. You also, the other thing is, you keep getting tickets and you keep getting tickets, and it's not just that she wants that car out of your possession so that she can sell it so that she can pay for the tickets. It's also that she needs that car out of your possession because you have violated the implicit contract between the two of you that you will not cause her to be endangered in her own transportation on her own car by getting tickets you ignore for a year. Okay, now let's discuss your counterclaim against her. You are suing her for $3,104.97. The $273 is for the parking tickets. I got that. The $180 is for an additional key because you didn't have a key for it.
Yeah.
Okay. $73 plus $19 in taxes on the car. Do you have the proof of cancellation of her plates, like the receipt? And then what are the DMV fees of $200?
You get charged for a lapse of insurance. The insurance notifies the DMV that you hadn't paid your insurance. They canceled the registration. The insurance was canceled, which made the registration canceled through the DMV, and then they charge you for the time span that you are not insured for.
What's the you each have defamation of character claims against each other. Tell me about yours first.
After she sold my car, I got on Facebook, and I basically, me and her being friends for 11 years, I knew a lot of her business, and which was true, and I was upset, and I wrote some stuff on Facebook. She also wrote some things on Facebook that were not true. Like as if I had,
about them because you're suing for $500 and she's suing for $1,800.
She wrote that I had herpes and I don't have herpes. How I was supposed to prove that I don't have herpes besides actually bringing in my doctor's papers, which I don't have, but I don't have herpes.
Did you post on Facebook that she had herpes?
No. The only reason why I didn't.
Do you have the Facebook post?
The only reason why I didn't screenshot it is because I already had filed this claim, and then she did it after, so I didn't know that I can go back in. And I'm just like,
wouldn't you want to? If you had already filed a lawsuit, wouldn't you want to tell a judge, look how vicious she is, and show it to somebody? All right, you didn't think to screenshot it. She took it down. According to you, she wrote that, and she said that you have herpes. Mm-hmm. and then according to you, you don't, and that was malicious, and that's why you're suing for $500. Why are you suing for $1,800 for defamation of character?
She said I had sexually transmitted diseases. I didn't know who my children's fathers were, all types of stuff.
And then she said that you had what? Did she specify what sexually transmitted disease?
Yeah, she said I heard herpes.
Is this really your best shot, both of you? Like to hurt each
I
other?
actually have my screenshots, though. I have it
But
on
she
her
really
page with her name.
Yeah, she has herpes. No, you do.
father
No, you do. Quit it. I know you are, but what am I? Let me see the...
I didn't know if I can use it, but the person that actually gave her herpes, he called my phone and he wanted to know.
Oh, for the love of all that is holy, are you kidding me?
I have him on recorded actually saying that he gave her the herpes. She was the first one to show signs. She got it on her birthday. Then he had it, and then the white girl showed signs like a month later.
And then the white girl, who's the white girl?
The person that he got, he cheated on her with the white girl, and I guess they all three had herpes, and I have him recorded saying that. He called me. He ain't saying that Tiani's not his.
We haven't reported.
Some people will really walk around having sex with people and not tell them if they're blank or blank is right. I won't repeat those two words. They figure if they're not itchy or burning at the time, they don't have to educate the person they're having sex with. Wrong. I don't care how much meds you take. Let me know. So Rotia Leslie has herpes. Stay away from this itchy, wanna have breast cancer.
Yes. Because
Are you a survivor?
When I was pregnant with my daughter, they found the lump. You can't get anything done until you're done being pregnant. When I found out it wasn't, afterwards I found out it wasn't cancerous. Okay, that's what she was referring to.
Who would throw that?
That's why
why would you say that?
Before you actually, before I was trying to give you some of her character. That's what she's a. I'm not trying to badmouth her because she did me a favor. No, I actually took that down.
Some people walk around without. Yeah, you're not.
I actually took that down because honestly, she's a hypochondriac to a car.
Stop talking. Oh my gosh. Did you ever say she has herpes?
No.
You really did lie.
Do you know who my second daughter father is? Because she looks like one dude and his kids, but what's penned her Joey mean?
She's tried to say I pent Joey, spelling error.
I still don't know what that means.
I pinned him. I pinned a child on him.
Oh.
The thing about that is you have to voluntarily sign a birth certificate.
He did. I got him on recording saying he actually did voluntarily, do you have
an off button? Go ahead.
I don't even know what that had to do with anything.
I don't know. You're handing it to me to look at. Because do you have an $1,800
that
claim?
she posted on Facebook.
Right, I know, but that's right. Okay. Okay. Court is in recess. I need to make heads and tails of all this.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if it's true that the defendant really did falsely accuse the plaintiff on Facebook of having herpes, is that grounds to sue for defamation?
Absolutely. You can't just say whatever you want about somebody on Facebook.
Well, that's my question. Do people believe what they read on Facebook since people talk crap all the time?
People always believe if it's out there, either they don't or they do, it's still out there, so.
Should they be able to sue? Should she be able to sue?
Most definitely, because that can ruin somebody's job, career, even...
And other things too, by the way.
Right, other things like their family. Other family members might believe them.
Or dating.
Oh, yeah, definitely. May lose all their dating life.
You know what? Kind of a buzzkill sometimes.
Yes, definitely.
Going inside the courtroom.
The Blue Book value of the car is $1,600. From that $1,600, you're entitled to the money for the tickets, of course. You're entitled to the keys. And you're entitled to the charges that you were charged at the DMV. So if I have a car that is worth $1,600 and what you are entitled to in damages based on what I just said is $904.97, then that means that there is a judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $695.03. Okay? As for the defamation case that you have against each other, I'm going to chalk it up to trash talking between the two of you. And I'm not, because otherwise I got to get, you want me to get into the truth of the matter asserted? Yes. You want me to find out if you do have herpes? Because that's what I'd have to do to find out if it's defamation or not.
Oh, what about the saying, I don't know who the father of my children is? Like...
Yeah, what about that?
After I did it, I did feel bad because this is stuff that she actually told me.
Do you have any proof at all that you did it in retaliation because she did it to you?
My witness wasn't able to make it.
So the answer to my question is what?
No. But I wouldn't have put
Really? Because it looks to me like you were enjoying all the stuff you put on Facebook.
No, actually, I took it all down.
You know what? I agree with you.
I took it all down.
You didn't take it down soon enough because she's got evidence of it. So she saw it, other people saw it. I agree with you. I agree with you. That defamation's going to eat up your judgment. That's how it's going to work. Good luck, ladies.
She didn't see it. She didn't see it.
And with that, the plaintiff walks out of the courtroom with exactly nothing on your claim.
Yeah.
What's your, could possibly be your feeling after all this went down?
Because it went after the defamation of character, and she really do have herpes. I thought defamation of character was something when it's not true. And eventually she couldn't prove it when the judges asked her, do you really want to prove it? She didn't want to prove it.
You two were
at the end of the day,
friends
we
for
was,
such a
and now
long
we're not.
time.
And at the end of the day, I'm not itchy, and
And
she
what's
is.
my last question?
Who itchy? No, I don't know.
Okay.
Not me.
All right, you come out here, you were all over the place in there, from anger to tears to everything in between, and over the God kids. And where are you? Where are you?
I'm fine. I'm in a fine space. I got my defamation. Hey, don't do favors for friends with no money.
After all this, that's the motto of this case? That's the moral?
Friends and money don't mix.
Yeah. You miss your old friend there?
No. I miss my godson.
Yeah, he brought the tears out.
That's my baby. Love him to death, always will. That's it.
Harvey?
You know, by the way, Kurt, it's actually, if you accuse somebody falsely of having an STD, under the law, that is automatic defamation. The law says that is a particular thing that is automatic defamation. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Whether it's routine maintenance, an emergency repair, or a dream project, Angie lets you compare quotes from multiple local pros, browse homeowner reviews, and even book a service instantly. Angie's been connecting people with skilled pros for nearly 30 years. So the next time you have a home project, bring it to Angie to get your job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This is the plaintiff, Heather Kamen. She says she hired the defendant to restore her antique chair, which needed a new leg, and the man did a terrible job. He was also supposed to appraise and frame a painting she gave him. He never got around to it, and she's suing for the return of the $1,100 she's owed. This is the defendant, Michael. He says he doesn't owe the plaintiff any money because he spent hours with her working on her chair and a painting she wanted appraised. Besides, the nasty woman posted terrible things about him online, which are untrue. She has damaged his business, and he refuses to give her any money. He's accused of getting painted into a corner.
Okay, you can step over there. There we go. All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to restore a leg in her antique chair. Says that he did an awful job, but the defendant says she was nasty and posted crappy things about him online. It's the case of not having a leg to stand on.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Heather Kamen, you are suing Michael. You've asked to be referred to only by your first name. You're suing his company for $1,100 that you paid him to frame a painting. You had it framed by somebody else, correct? All right, Ms. Kamen, what's going on? Start from the beginning here.
Okay, from the beginning, I hired Michael. I got him off Angie's list, which we have used many, many times, and everybody that we've ever used has been wonderful. So he came to my home with his wife, Vivian, and to fix a chair that was broken. It was a set of chairs that I had inherited from my parents.
How much were you paying him to fix the chair?
He had said between $300 and $400, which I said fine.
Okay.
Okay. And then I had a painting which was signed by a famous artist, Turner, that also came from my parents, and it had been appraised many times. The Metropolitan Museum of Art had appraised it. I have other people, and they all said it was just a pretty painting, but it was not an original. Michael looked at it very carefully and felt that it was really a Turner, and that he wanted to have it appraised because he thought that it was a very valuable painting. And he
How
said,
did this even come about, though? He's the guy you hired to fix the chair.
Correct.
And the Met had told you it wasn't a Turner.
correct. Many people had said it wasn't. But the frame was falling off. And I had said to Michael, by the way, do you frame pictures? And he said, yes, my father was a painter, and I know all about it. And he took the painting off the wall, and he looked at it, and the decision was that we would first have it appraised. If it was very valuable, clearly I wouldn't keep it, I would sell it. And if it wasn't, then he would frame it for me. Okay? Then he asked for money. Cash, and I said I don't understand. Well, for the chair and not for maybe a deposit on the frame. I don't know really understand. So I gave them $1,600 cash.
And the $1,600 was supposed to cover what?
Between $300 and $400 for the chair, and the rest was a deposit for a frame.
How much was a frame going to cost?
About $2,000.
For real?
Yes, a very pretty frame. Yes. So here.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry.
I'm still putting my arms around that one. $2,000 frame. What's the frame made of?
Well, this was going to be a handmade frame and gilded with real gold gilding, gilding, and I did explain.
I got to hang out with a better class of people.
I did explain to Miss Gaiman what the possibilities were, and I went and made another trip, brought her samples of the various types of frames, and I said, you could use this type or this.
Okay, I got it. So it's a $2,000 frame if it's not real.
Correct.
Okay, go on.
As he said, he brought over sample frames, and he also brought over a gentleman to appraise it. Now, this gentleman walked in. He said, I have no knowledge of 19th century paintings. I'll look at it. He took it into my bathroom for 2 minutes, looked at it, and said, I don't think it's real, and that was it. Okay. 3 months went by. This was January 18th. I was going back and forth to Florida, but I always notified them. They had my cell number. I always told them when I was going to be in New York.
And for what? What were they going to do?
They were going to set up appointments to have the painting appraised, and I was going to go with them.
Okay, so we weren't resting on the guy in the bathroom.
No, because he said he had no knowledge about 19th century painting. So, right. Well, I kept on calling.
Like this time you were going to take it to an auction house?
No, we were going to have it appraised.
By whom? You already had it appraised by the guy in the bathroom.
We were looking for somebody that was qualified.
Okay, so the search was on.
Yes.
Okay, so for 3 months, according to you, you're back and forth and nothing, and then
nothing. Well, I finally came back for good in the middle of April. I called an auction house.
Okay.
And they
said... One of the big ones?
One of the big ones.
Okay.
Okay. And they said, come right over. I had my friend, and I have a receipt from him that there was a Turner specialist who looked at the painting. He had a book of Turner paintings, and my exact picture was hanging in London in the Tate Gallery. So he said no artist would make an exact copy. It's a very pretty picture, but...
Wow, that seems like something I could have done on the internet on a laptop in your bathroom. Like found that same painting hanging in the Tate, you said?
Right, yes.
Right.
So, but there was no charge for this. They were very, very nice to me. And he said, because at that point, after 3 months, and after Michael not setting up any appointments whatsoever, I really didn't want to have him frame my picture. I didn't want anything more to do with it.
Did you have any communication with him during those 3 months?
On a weekly basis.
And what would you guys talk about if you weren't getting it done?
Are you setting up an appointment? Are you fixing my chair?
What would he say?
He would say it takes time to set up appointments. I'm still working on the chair. So then the auction...
Do you have a picture of the painting?
Yep. You look.
Okay. So you tell me about these 3 months, because I don't think there's any dispute that when you left there in January, I take it you took the chair with you?
Yes.
To repair it?
Yes, we did.
Right, that when you left there in January, she gave you $1,600 and you're supposed to fix the chair and get the thing appraised. That there's no dispute about, right?
Well, we were not, Your Honor, just getting it appraised. We were also going to frame it.
Right, and if it was real, everything stops, and if it wasn't, you were going to frame it.
Correct.
What is the reason that in 3 months it wasn't appraised?
Well, we contacted several people.
Were you going to get, see, here's the thing. If you're not going to get paid to frame it, then why are you involved at all on the hope that it's not, and then you get the framing business?
Well, I want to be paid for my time, Your Honor. I'm going back and forth.
So what was the agreement? Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So what was the agreement what was the agreement that you two had on what you would be paid if it was real for your time?
Well, we didn't really get to that point.
I know.
But I'm going back and forth with Ms. Kamen. I need to be paid for my time.
Right. Now, all the back and forth, let's talk about that. When you were back and forth, what was it about?
Okay, on the 16th of January, I saw the framers. I got samples, brought them to Ms. Kamen. Before picking up that painting, I had a special box made to transport that painting, because you just don't pick a painting that may be worth thousands of dollars and walk down the street.
How much would it have been worth if it was a real Turner?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Okay, 40 million?
That
quite a
just
bit.
sold.
Quite a bit. So my concern.
So why are we saying thousands of dollars? Well, I guess
and that was one of the conversations that Ms. Kamen and I had. We were talking.
Did you think when you were growing? You said you got this from your parents,
right?
So was it always a real Turner to your parents? Or
my parents bought it in a delicatessen in Brooklyn.
Thank you, Lord, for this intensely New York moment.
So if somebody does work for somebody, like appraising a painting or whatnot, and they don't really have a firm contract, can they get paid?
Absolutely. I think a verbal contract is something, and the person should be compensated for their time.
If it's really loose and not nailed down.
It sounds like a case of equity. If they've done some work, they should get paid.
Are you a lawyer?
Yes.
The word equity means something. Oh, I can smell lawyers a mile away going inside the courtroom.
So did you make any appointments to have the thing appraised?
Yes, we did. Can I let my wife speak for me?
Apparently. How long have you been doing that so far?
She's the one that has done most of that.
How many years have you been letting her speak for you?
35.
There you go. I think she's got it down. Go ahead.
The gallery that was initially planned on no longer does walk-in appraisals.
Well, that takes 4 seconds on a phone. Got it.
Yes. And then we checked out a major museum, which used to do appraisals. They now recommend the Appraisers Association of America.
Okay.
These are appraisers who are accredited. We found one who was local, who did come and look at the painting.
Is that the guy in the bathroom we were talking about?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
He needed
and
to
then
see
that
it
happened
in the dark.
when? When did that happen?
That was on March 13th and 14th.
Okay.
We got this one. We contacted others who were not available or were not experts in this category.
Okay, this is starting to remind me of what it's like in my house on a weekend. When I say to my husband, I have a list this big, he has a list this big, and I ask him, did you do this? He goes, I placed a call. Well, then I'm like, no, you got to bring it home. Bring it home, buddy. All right, so the bottom line is that nothing I mean, you made an effort, but nothing happened in the 3 months. Here's what we got. You ended up getting it framed somewhere else. What did you pay to get it framed somewhere else?
It's about $1,500, I think.
Okay. You ended up, by the way, finishing the chair.
Yes.
And it took longer than you had thought.
Right.
And more work and time than you had thought. So at some point, the two of you agree on a new price for the chair. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes,
And what was the new price that you?
$500.
And you were both fine with that because you felt he had earned it and you felt you had earned it.
Yeah.
All right. So if the check was $1,600, what's in dispute is the $1,100 remaining.
Yes.
All right. Now, when someone agrees to give you business and you agree on, was the amount $2,000? Like that was agreed upon, that the final amount would be $2,000? Or no?
No.
No.
What was the amount of the framing going to be?
$3,200 total for the job, including everything.
Was that something you knew? Oh, yeah,
I didn't know.
So
That is accurate. I showed.
can I see the invoice or the bill or the contract she signed something that says $3,200?
We never got that far, but I did give
Let me
Ms.
tell you what this is. When we don't get that
Kamen
far,
a handwritten receipt.
Oh, okay. Watch this. Did he
And
give you a
stated
handwritten
what I
receipt that
was
said
going to do.
$3,200? No. Okay, now how are you going to prove that? When you don't have an actual receipt that someone signed. See, here's the thing. I got to decide if there was a contract here or if there wasn't a contract. Either there's a contract for framing, and at a minimum, you're entitled to your lost profits, or there's not a contract for framing because we haven't gotten there yet. We were waiting to find out if it was a real one. If it was a real one, I'm going to sell it, Judge. I'm not going to have him frame it, which makes a lot more sense to me when there's $40 million at stake. We were going to decide that later. I was still showing her samples that would lead to determining what framing was going to cost, if we were going to frame it, if it was a fake. That does not appear to me to be a meeting of the minds, and I need to see a meeting of the minds and a breach of that consensus before you're allowed to keep any of the money for framing that didn't occur. I am ordering you to return the $1,100 to the plaintiff. That's my judgment. Good luck, folks.
Okay. Thank you.
And so after all that, the plaintiff gets the money back. You bring that right out. Come over here next to me. And what's your reaction to the judge's verdict here, which goes against you?
Well, I think she was under a lot of pressure to come to some kind of conclusion here, so I can't say that I blame her for that conclusion, but I'm not happy about it.
What kind of pressure? She's a judge. She hears a case and she makes a ruling. That's not pressure.
She has to make a ruling.
That's her job.
That's correct.
And you lost. You lost.
I lost, yes.
Yeah.
But I feel I should not have lost. Frankly
what's that painting worth, even if it's a copy? Is it still valuable?
Ms. Kamen still does not agree with me, but I think it is the real thing.
The real thing. William Turner, yes. Mr. Turner.
Yes, and I'm very frustrated that we could have not remained compatible with each other and gone forward.
You can frame a $16 million painting?
Well, I had a framer. I'm not a framer myself, but I have a framer that works for me. Okay. I'm a restorer. I do other kinds of things.
Okay, restore right around the corner there. Let's talk to the plaintiff next.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right, so step on in here. He still thinks it's the real deal.
I know.
Is there any chance it is?
Zero. There were too many people that have looked at it. Would have been wonderful if it was.
Yeah.
Would have changed my life.
What would it have been worth if it was?
$40 million.
$40 million. And even a good copy, is that worth something?
No. No, just a pretty picture.
Harvey?
All right. Okay, to have a contract, both sides need to agree on the essential terms. That is what the judge meant by meeting of the minds. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Bennett Gold. He says he's a graphic design artist, and he created a logo for the defendant's business, and the guy's stiffing him. He worked tirelessly, deserves to be paid for his services, and will not let the defendant get away without paying him. He's suing for $230.71, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Joe DiChiara. He says he paid the plaintiff twice for his services, but the inept guy couldn't design a logo like the one he wanted, so he found someone else who could. Once he found someone else, the plaintiff presented him with a new invoice, but he was all paid up in full and has no idea why he's even being sued, since they parted company and he had a zero balance. He's accused of aggravating an artist.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff created a logo for the defendant's business and didn't get paid, but the defendant says he paid in full. It's the case of no-go with the logo.
Thank you, Douglas. Gold Designs and Graphics, represented here by Mr. Gold. You're the owner, Bennett Gold. You're suing Joe DiChiara and Cornerstones of Business Incorporated, doing business as Bedrock Bookkeepers. You are the owner of that company. You are suing him for $230.71 that you say you were owed, and he has refused to pay. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, I was hired to design the logo for him. I designed the logo. He used it. Then he came back and he wanted some other designs. So
Wait, he used it how? What did he use it on?
Well, he paid me for it. I billed him for the logo.
Oh, okay, but you don't know that he used it.
Well, no, actually, I don't know.
And what was he? How much did he pay you?
I charged him $200 for it, and he paid me the $200.
Okay.
For it. Then he wanted to see some other.
He wanted you to see. He wanted you to design a different logo, or he wanted you to keep working on that one?
No, he wanted to see some other.
Okay, so you go back to the drawing board, and what happened?
I went back to the drawing board. I explained to him from the beginning. He wanted something showing bedrock. I said, you really can't illustrate bedrock. So I designed
Why
something.
not?
Well, because you don't know what it is. It looks like. Can I show you something?
You can say it.
Okay.
It looks like what? Use a nicer word.
Okay.
What does it look like?
That.
It looks like poo.
There you go.
You were concerned that what he wanted to look like better would look like excrement. Okay. Or it looks like a mountain.
He was using that originally.
All right, but in any event, that's what he was using.
So that's what he was using.
And then this is what you designed.
That's what I redesigned.
I would
for
agree
him.
that this looks much better.
So
I would agree.
That's what I gave
All right, but
him.
he didn't like that, and what did he want?
Well, then, I said to him, how about we do something using type treatment? So I gave him 3 additional logos using type treatment.
Is that what you're suing for, the additional work that you did?
Yes.
Okay, because he didn't pay you for any of those.
Right.
And you
That's
feel he
2
should have
of
paid
them.
you. Was there a contract in writing between the two of you?
No, I
Is
did
there
work-
any email traffic or text which would show what the understanding was in terms of payment?
Well, I sent him an invoice. He wrote back to me. He didn't expect it to be that high. He'll pay me $100.
And how much was the invoice for the typeset?
It was $200.
For that?
Well, there were 3 of them. The other one is somewhere in here. Okay. Here, these were the 3. They're kind of small. So.
Okay.
So
all right, so he gives you a bill for $200 and you thought that was steep.
Well, no, that's not exactly how it happened.
How it happened?
And I do have an email from him where he states his price is $250.
Okay, and is that what you had paid him?
Yeah, I paid him $250. I didn't dispute. I had no problem with the price. He's a talented guy.
Are you using any of them?
Nah.
Okay.
I didn't use any of the.
Which one are you using? I got to know.
I had to go to somebody else. And
let me see what you decided on. Why did you have to go to somebody else?
Because
you didn't like any of the stuff he.
No, I like that
the blue
mountain
one.
Thing he did, but what I.
Oh, this is nicer.
Yeah, and if you see the bottom, the name of the company is
Bookkeepers. It's a book. It's brilliant.
Right.
I really like that. I like the colors. Sorry, this was good too, but I like this. All right, so in any event, you feel that, because here's the email from you, and this is what I want to ask you. Logo design, 1 logo, $100. Choice of 3 logos, $250. Why does he owe you an additional $200?
Because I gave him 3 additional logos.
You gave him 6 logos total?
Does this guy look like John Travolta, or is it just me? Does this guy look like John Travolta?
Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
Is it the airplane collar there?
That, the hair, everything.
What do you think?
It's the shirt.
Huh? John Travolta?
Absolutely.
Who can do the John Travolta move? Quick. Come on. Come on. I can't do it. I'm in a suit. Guys, Killjoy is going inside the courtroom.
3 logos is $250.
Originally I gave him 2 logos, and he paid me for that. Then
what are the 2 logos that you gave him originally?
The 2 logos I originally gave him were.
Okay, let me see them.
It's the 2 on the bottom.
2 on the bottom.
Okay, but the 3rd one up is the same thing in a different color. You're not counting that as additional.
No, I'm not charging him as.
So there's these 2.
It's those 2.
Then he says he sent you these other 3. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. So then he sent you, I'm not going to count the 2 colors. He sent you a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if he sent you 5 options and 3 options you paid him for, shouldn't you pay him for another 2 options?
Well, I wanted to pay him something for his time out of respect. I know that he tried, he went back, but we just couldn't connect on the concept. So I was going back and forth with Mr. Gold for 6 months. He never said I was going to be charged additional money in that time.
Okay, but you have an email that says a choice of 3 logos is $250.
Right.
And then you asked him to do 2 others just typeset.
Well, I asked him to revise it. I went to another gentleman, and he got that logo that you saw there in 2 days. So
Yeah, that logo's brilliant.
I
really like it.
expected, $50, $100, just out of respect for Bennett.
Well, but I think it should be more than that, because I think that I have something very easy to judge on what it should be. If 3 logos is $250 and he
Okay.
gave you 5 logos, you owe him 2/3 of $250.
I have
And
one-
2/3 of $250 would be $166.
Well, okay. First off, Your Honor, I offered him $125 to settle this.
Okay.
Second, I have information from other graphic designers.
That he was overcharging you?
Nah, not that he overcharged me.
How much
but
did you pay for this one?
They all include
For the one you ended up
revisions.
with?
They all include revisions. I paid $180 for that one.
Okay, but how are these revisions? They're separate options. I would agree revisions. If you say, I want this blue, I want that bigger, that's a revision.
Yeah.
I think these are separate options, and I think your emails clearly call for separate options. So I'm ready to rule. Based on what I've heard, I think that very clearly you didn't get 3 the first time, then you got 3 the next time. You were owed 1, so you owe him 2/3 of his rate for 3 logos. So if this is what you asked him to do, typeset it. Each time he gives you one, it's another logo. You know you got to pay him something. I say you got to pay him 2/3 of the $250. That's $166.66. No, verdict for the plaintiff.
Right over here. What are you doing trying to get away without paying the guy?
I wanted to pay him. He's a talented guy.
You wanted to, but you just couldn't pay him.
Well, I offered him $125, and unfortunately, our friendship, ended over that.
Yeah, that's over $40.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Nah.
To lose a friend over that? You should have
Nah.
paid him, right?
I wish he would have accepted the $125.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Right down there. You're not worth $160. You're worth $125.
He offered me $100.
$100?
And then he wanted to give me $50.
So your friendship isn't
Then he
worth
told me-
$160 to him?
No. Yeah, plus, he really ripped it off because this was originally what I did for him. And the guy basically took what I did, flopped it, and added a book to it.
All right. Well,
So-
I mean, how many things can you do with bedrock? Bedrock is bedrock.
Bedrock is
You're stuck
bedrock,
with a mountain.
But he should have not taken the idea. I mean, it was really the concept was mine.
Was it worth losing a friend over this?
It happens.
That's a yes. Harvey?
Okay, the judge is allowed to figure out how much value the defendant got out of the logos and adjust the price accordingly.